Denali National Park by Alyssa Lombardo. Denali is located in Alaska and is part of the Alaskan Mountain Range. The Alaska Range is a 600-mile-long arc of mountains that stretch from the Alaska-Canada border all the way to the Alaska Peninsula. This park's original name was Mount McKinley National Park, which was established in 1917. Charles Sheldon and Belmore Brown were the advocates to create this area into a national park to protect the wildlife. It was actually the first national park created to specifically protect wildlife. They wanted to protect the wildlife from railway workers, miners, and growing communities. On the National Park Service's 100th anniversary, the name of the highest peak in North America changed from Mount McKinley to Denali. Denali has the highest mountain peak in North America, with a summit elevation of 20,310 feet. It is still known Mount McKinley to many people, but in Alaska, people call it Denali. The word Denali means the high one in Native Alaskan language. And because of tectonic collision and uplifting, it created the present-day Alaska Range. Denali's elevation and its distance from the equator are the reasons why it is always winter on top. Some of the snow never melts. Denali's history has been characterized by repeated advances and retreats of massive ice sheets. Over time, the snow forms glaciers, which are slow-moving rivers of ice. There are at least 40 glaciers, and these glaciers have created many interesting landforms. The land in this area comes from the carving forces of the glaciers and the debris they leave behind. They form U-shaped valleys, kettle lakes when they are retreated, and so much more. You will also find large areas of tundra and taiga forests. These forest species below are either considered sensitive or rare. They can require a very specific set of habitat conditions to grow. Sensitive plants are those that appear threatened by an outside force like climate change, human disturbance, or competition from invasive species. The roundleaf orchid is the first picture on the left, then the Alaska starwort in the middle, and finally on the right, the fairy slipper. These rare and sensitive species are critical to preserving Denali's biodiversity. A goal many visitors have is to see grizzly bears, caribou, moose, Dall sheep, and wolves in the wild. It is such a popular attraction that these animals are now referred to as the Big Five. You can find grizzlies in close proximity to areas of abundant food sources such as berry patches. You can find hundreds of caribou grazing all around, and the moose, the largest member of the deer family, is also the largest animal found in Denali. You can find Dall sheep walking along exposed cliffs and peaks of mountains. And currently there are approximately 18 packs of wolves. You can hear the wolves howl more frequently in the evening and early morning, especially during winter breeding. There are many activities that take place in or even above Denali. There are ATV rides that visitors can take on certain trails to explore the parks. Flight seeing is also an option, where you can fly directly over Denali and see everything from above. You can also try paddle rafting in the rivers, or even sled dog tours in the winter. You can even zip line across the land. Personally, I would love to take a flight seeing and sled dog tour, and if I'm feeling brave enough, I would like to try paddle rafting, but that seems a little intense sometimes. Current issues in Denali consist of climate change, and climate change is affecting everywhere on Earth, but in Denali it shows accelerating glacial melt, expansion of woody plants to higher elevations in latitudes, and slumps in the landscape caused by permafrost thaw. In October 2013, a mass of partially thawed permafrost chunks slid onto the park road and blocked off passageway. Smaller slides are still continuing to happen this day, and this is very hazardous for traveling visitors because it can possibly block off roads.